talking about my goals,
Mm-hmm.
I came back from the game like 1 month ago. I tend
Mm-hmm.
to be. I mean, the last time I played Maple was like probably like 4 years ago. Then I just came back from the for the Destiny stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I managed to reach a stage that I'm satisfied with, but I want to. I want to. I want to be able to. I'm not really clear about the whole meso gear item drop dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
How to sort of like uh, um, make make them like to not lose because I'm in the stage with some items,
Mm-hmm.
accessory items that if I lost those stats, that might imply that I would one shot, right? So
Yes.
I don't know how to really make I don't know the word, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
to
to
make them.
balance out to compensate for the lost damage on the pieces if you go for drop in meso, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Or whether or not I should like make another piece of that same item, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because the goal is
Um,
to gain rates, but if you gain rates per monster but then kill fewer monsters, you don't actually gain anything. You spend a whole bunch of money and nothing happens, right?
no, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure, that makes
And
sense.
I want to. I mean, I just I've been playing a lot this
Mm-hmm.
past month, but like in the next months, I need to start working to contribute with my family in college, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to have less time,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if I should focus on the meso gear, uh, because I really enjoy playing other characters too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like to create this main while simultaneously funneling into other characters with
Yeah.
the node stones that I get from training and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So and in terms of bosses, I think one of my goals is to manage to duo Lomian
Mm-hmm.
and
And do you have someone
eventually
in mind
so
for that, or is it just general goal? I don't know if you're playing with a friend or something.
uh yeah, I have a friend, he's a hero, and
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I play with him,
Mm-hmm.
and but in terms of soloing, right? I managed to reach the third stage, but the time went off, right?
Yeah.
So uh, I don't know if I don't know like what I'm supposed to be. If it's a question of mechanics necessarily, although I'm a paladin, so
Mm-hmm.
I tend to
You just
ignore
tank it.
them usually.
Yeah, just ignore it, yeah.
Yeah, I managed to do Chaos Papalat Pap like 2 days ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I watched your video and I was like, oh, so wait, so you actually need to do this stuff while I don't have to do
Yeah, no,
it.
you could ignore a whole bunch of stuff, yeah.
No, even
What level are you right now?
I'm 226.
26, okay. And your friend is around the same level?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have
Uh,
made like Terra Burns and Mega Burns characters as well? Or Terra
yeah,
Burninator and Terra Burn?
I made like I made like Terra burn this character,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I used the Burninator on Angelic Buster.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if there were like good decisions, and I have a mechanic to Terra burn, and
Well,
it's
you
so painful to level.
yeah, well, because you were talking about like also leveling other characters and trickling down node stones and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
If you
I
made those
have.
characters with burn, then they already come with quite some node stones, right? But those are maybe not necessarily the characters that you want to level on.
Oh yeah, I actually realized that I get the benefits from the Angelic Busters on Terra burn,
Mm-hmm.
and I got like 40 node stones, and then I do the whole like made like no shards things, and then I put it on my paladin.
Okay.
Uh, Although I don't know if there's a way to for the noodles in the vent shop, right? I don't know if there's a way to also funnel them from my other characters to my main one. Um,
Just the nodes?
there's also the experience node, but I don't know how exactly I'm gonna follow.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what
it's a bit expensive.
if it's. Yeah, I don't know if it's optimal necessarily.
No, it's not optimal. It's really like late game and end game people can go for that.
Okay, I see.
The regular nodes, I think, they're untradeable, so you have to buy them on the character.
No, exactly, and I don't know if I'm saving for like the 17-star scroll. I don't know if that's like important necessarily, or
It's probably on the lower. I would say nodes are most important thing. I would say.
okay, because I don't know. I there was like this event, the past like Star Force event.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of fucked up because I don't know. I pushed too much for some of my gloves and my shoes, which explains why I don't have Apso right now in those
You try to go
in
17
those
or.
slots. Yeah, I was trying with the Amaterasu thing, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize that it was that the goal was just to sort of like 16 and then probably safeguard for my Apso, right?
Yeah, it's fine
And
to just 15 and then wait for 5 and 15, and then on the day you 100% to 16 transfer, 100% to 16 again, and then you just safeguard the last star. Because
no,
then you
yeah,
can do the
exactly,
15 to 16 twice, right, on the same day. So you take
mhm.
max
but
benefit.
then but then I boomed like 2 of my shoes and gloves, and
Yeah.
I lost like a lot of stats, but I managed to regain them during the daily Ramaru, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I don't know. There's this DMT event, and I don't know exactly what to cube. You know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
don't
so
know what.
when it comes to just in general making sure that the character can get to the point where you want to be able to make money for your account, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea to kind of have an idea of how far you want to take it. So you already mentioned that you might be busy with work and busy with other stuff that you might not be able to capitalize on it. The main thing is when you do totems, and especially once you have like Legion coins, but if you want to make a decent amount of money just when you're training and grinding on the character, you want to get meso and drop rate gear, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a few
Yeah, I
sources,
can
like
make.
Innerability comes from drop and meso. So if you know that you're definitely going to have like at least a few times in a week, like time to do a totem, or to do most of a totem, do like an hour or an hour and a half of it, then you'll get a lot more value during that time, and you will earn back the money you invested in the drop rate gear, and then eventually it'll come back in the form of a lot of money. And the main thing is that usually before you make that jump, your accessories are probably epic or unique, so they probably have like 6 or 9% stat anyway. And then once you get into legendary with drop and meso, a lot of times the second or third line will also have like 6 or 9% stat on it, right? So you won't actually lose much damage, you're just gaining the utility of the drop and the meso. And you want a lot of your damage, mainly you want it to come from your weapon, your secondary, and your emblem, and then from your arcane power, and from your boost nodes. That's what you want to have carrying all of the damage. And then that can be supplemented by, if you get Abzo, that it has like okay flames and okay potential, and that your CRA, isn't absolute junk, and that your Legion helps a little bit. If all the other things help a little bit, then that'll be enough, and then you can still keep killing, even though you're dropping down, quote unquote, to drop in meso. But typically your accessories are just like epic or unique and have like 6 or 9%, so they're not actually really getting downgraded. They're just not getting upgraded, basically, in terms of damage, but only in terms of utility. Does that make sense?
So I shouldn't be afraid to tear them up, basically.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Start with them.
I wonder. There's some. I was checking some of your videos, and then you recommended to tier up, for example, the CRA stuff to unique
Mm-hmm.
because they have junk lines.
Yep.
And I wonder also my emblem. I suddenly dropped my other emblem. Like you in this event, I think you received like your original one and then the unique one. But I
Mm-hmm.
dropped the original one.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't realize that it was maybe so.
Yeah, it's one of a
like,
kind, so there's no way to get that back.
Yeah. But I wonder. Like, I have like 2 lines of attack here,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if I should like push more.
No, probably not. I would look at your
Yeah.
at your secondary, which is already legendary but isn't doing all that much, so I reroll that one. The downside kind of is that you went into shield, kind of like locks you into staying on shield. Ideally, I would advise new players to not do a shield, but to just do the Princess No secondary, basically, and treat it as a shield, but just, don't Star Force it and just go for potential. Because eventually, if you want to min-max your damage on a Paladin or a hero, eventually you want to go for two-handed. And then you'll have to redo your secondary again, because you can't equip a shield with a two-handed, so then you would have to redo. But if your shield gets really good, that might be enough reason for you to stay one-handed anyway.
I think I like the aesthetic reason and not having to roll the one.
The inner?
Speed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that also gives you the ability for the inner to get meso obtained, which can help you make a lot more money without losing any damage. Yeah. Because this... So usually, if something is rare, I would just roll for 6%, for 3%, right? If it's epic, roll for 6%. If it's unique, I would say roll for 9% on most stuff, but the stuff with lower amount of junk lines, so a heart, a badge, or accessories, I would roll at least for 12. If it's in unique, and stay within unique. So that means you use like Master Craftsman, right? So use Occult on Epic, use Master Craftsman, because if you use the higher tier, then you have a chance to tier up. And even though tiering up seems nice, it puts you into a position where you have to now spend more expensive cubes to get the potential of the piece to pay off, right? And then if it's legendary, I would always say at least 2 full useful lines. And like your secondary does not have 2 useful lines now. So that is relatively cheap to get better value on. But since the DMT is close, I would not spend any money on any of that, right? But focus on the accessories one at a time, on the ones that are already the highest tier first, right? So like the pendant, for example, right? The greed pendant, and then what do you have? The eye, I think.
Yeah, I have the. I think I have a
the face, the face accessory. And the earring, the earring has 15. So even if you want to tier that one up, I would do that one a little bit later, right? Because that one has more to lose. So you basically rank all the pieces you have and like what is the cheapest to get to where you want it, which is a line of drop or meso, and which means that would be a unique thing, and then what has the least to use. So that would be the one that just have to lose, the one that does have just one stat line.
So I should like roll up for my epics ones and then my unique ones, right?
I do uniques first, because they only just need 1 tier up, and then immediately they can start making money. And the faster the pieces can start making money, the faster you can get the ball rolling and do the other pieces.
I see, okay.
Because now with every, percentage-wise, with every piece that you get more drop and more meso, your income goes up. And if your income goes up, the next piece is faster, right? And then it just keeps going. Until you get 9 accessories total. So we can kind of look at which ones you can do, right? Like the Flame Ring is already legendary. I'd be okay with also re-rolling the Flame Ring first. Like it has 18, which is a little bit unfortunate that you had to roll out of that. But if you get, 9 strength and 20 drop or 20 meso, that would be better for you right now, I think.
So it will be one. So in terms of my accessories, I should search for like one line of my main stat and another line of meso or drop.
I think priority would be drop or meso. And if it has main stat or if it has all stat, that's nice, but that's not initially what you want. First, get a drop of meso or a drop of item, and then go to the next piece. And then eventually, so I have this here, I linked it to you as well, right? Do you see this?
Wait, let me see.
This is like how item drop rate and meso and everything and how it stacks together.
Okay, I see.
So your goal is to get your base drop rate of meso bags when you kill a monster from 60% up into 100%, right? You want every single monster you kill always drop a bag. It's kind of like if you work on meso obtain before you work on drop rate, it's kind of like working on critical damage before you work on critical rate, right? Like both of them help, but if you work on critical damage and you don't have 100% crit rate yet, it's not as efficient because not every attack is a crit.
So they're basically related. I didn't.
Yeah. Drop rate makes it so that more bags drop, and then once you have a bag guaranteed from every monster you kill, then it becomes more important how much is in the bag, and that's meso obtain. So meso obtain can only stack up to 100% from equips, so only up to 5 lines max. And since you can get 9 accessories that can get meso obtain and drop rate, ideally we go for 4 lines of drop, so you have 5 plus 4 is 9, right? And the pieces are like all of the rings, so that's 4, and then the 2 pendants, so that's 6, the eye in the face, so that's 8, and then an earring, so that's 9 pieces in total. So what will happen is if you get into legendary, what will most likely happen is you'll probably get like 6 with meso obtain, or you get like 5 with item drop rate, right? And then if that happens, then you can look at all the ones you have, and then if you have something with meso or drop, whatever you have too many of, and it doesn't have any stats, then that's the one you prioritize to reroll, because again, that one has the least to lose, right? Something that's already 20 and 9 and 9 strength, that's not the first one you're going to reroll, because that's the one you definitely want to hold on to, right? Something that's just 20 and then whatever, like some dex and some bullshit line. That's one that you might want to reroll, so that eventually you get the 5 meso and 4 drop. And the second thing you want to do for money is your inner ability, but that's this Sunday, I believe, right? That's tomorrow. Yeah.
So I should, during this event, I should prioritize my accessories into legendary and try to get the.
Yeah. So the thing is, the thing is with star forcing and everything, once you start going past 12, you need backups, and things can start getting pretty expensive, especially if you have to safeguard. And those upgrades are possible, up to 15, up to 17, they're very possible. But what happens is if you do them without having the foundation of the drop in the meso gear first, is that you're giving a bigger, like every bill you spend is like 4 hours of your time. Versus if you have drop in meso gear, every bill you spend is only 2 hours of your time. Right? So you just need to take longer every single time to get to a possibility for an upgrade. And the further you keep going, the time that you need to spend to guarantee an upgrade, which means, you know, if you check out like the average cost and how many hours you need to do, that amount of hours is just going to get insane, right? And it just makes way more time efficiency wise, especially because of how strong the characters are in the power creep, that you go into the drop in the meso gear first. And, at the same time, it gives you time to get backups, right? So that you can make different choices in like, do I need to safeguard? Do I not need to safeguard? What if you wait like another month and now you have like 12 CRA pieces, or you have like whatever, you have enough time to get like 16 possible backups for Abzo or something because you really like the weeklies, maybe you're weird like that, and then you can just do it on the Abzos without safeguarding, and if it booms, it's whatever, you can just make a new one, right? But if you look at the calculator, that actually saves you a lot of money, but then the time and doing the quest gives you the ability to create that money, because then that gives you the insurance of not booming your stuff.
But I wonder if I get because you mentioned that I should focus on my shield to get the attack, right? But I wonder, but as I said, I'm afraid of losing too much of my main stat in the accessories, and not being able to, and just have like a bunch of meso gear, but not being able to one-shot the mobs.
Sure. That's fine, but remember what I said before, like that can happen, but the sooner you get reliant on all of the stat in your accessories, the harder it is to switch out. So now that they're just epic and unique and they just have one line, now is the easiest time to switch out. Because let's say you make 9 pieces, and let's say half of them give stat, you know, that's then, and it's like 9, that means that you get around 36% stat back, right? If you compare that 36 to what you have now, where it's like, it's anywhere between, it's between 6 and 9, and it's 9 pieces, so it's between 54 and 81, right? So you're getting like either like almost half or like 2/3 of it back, which is not too bad. You're not losing that much strength there, but you still have a lot to gain. You still have a lot to gain in all of the other stuff, and your boost nodes and your arcane power is what's going to carry your damage. Arcane power 50% final damage, and then boost nodes up to plus 120% final damage on the skills that need to kill, right? And then the shield getting 1 line of attack extra is going to be just by that, you know, it already has a line of 6%, but like a 9% attack line is probably about the same as like, I don't know, like 20% stat or something. So also 2 already, or 3 of your pieces can already be covered as well by just an extra line of attack on the shield. So all of it will work together. And then other things is, you know, as your legion keeps growing and that kind of stuff. And then your hyperstats, do you have multiple setups for your hyperstats?
Multiple what?
Presets? Because I saw that.
Oh yeah, I have. Well, I guess I had like 1 for boss, 1 for mobbing, and 1 for arcane power. Although, I mean, I haven't like make a.
It switches a lot in the beginning, right? Because you level quickly. Yeah.
So I haven't made like the correct, necessarily like the correct calculations to do
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah, even
Um,
just optimizing that and where you put the pieces in your legion and which link skills you use, all of that combined will just help a lot.
I see.
You know what
So
your so yeah, for hyperstats your priorities, what would you prioritize if you're mobbing?
I don't. I mean, I always had like the impression that I should prioritize damage, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, basically,
Because
but what gives you damage, right? That's the question.
mm, well, there's like the one that says damage, right?
Yeah,
In
but
terms
the
of
one that says damage is actually not the one. The one that says damage is the fourth in line. Fifth in line. The
what do
most
you?
important way of getting damage is final damage, and you get that from arcane power. So,
Okay,
important part is to see where am I training, what is 50% plus the arcane power requirement of the map, and can I reach that already? Can I reach that with a little bit of hyperstat? Then you build it. Can you only reach it with like level 12 hyperstat? That's probably a little bit overkill, and maybe you should find a weaker map, right? But
okay.
it's
So
perfectly fine to put onto like level 8 or so something hyperstat if it gives you extra final damage interval, because that's way more important than just percentage damage.
so the arcane power hyperstat
Mm-hmm.
is way more important for me right now.
It's more important to
Uh,
look at. If you have
yeah,
enough, then you don't need to put any in. But if you don't have enough, then that's more important to put in than on damage, yeah.
yeah. I was noticing that when I went to Arcana, I think that's the name of it.
Mm-hmm,
The like
mm-hmm.
the one that is after the map of Lucid.
After Lacaline, yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was not like one shot in the mobs, but I think it was maybe because of I didn't have like arcane power, even if Bill in my hyper stats.
Yeah, Arcane Power and the levels as well, right? And both of those give you a
Yeah,
penalty, and then you put them together, and then you don't have enough anymore. And sometimes just leveling and just getting Arcane Power and just getting the boost nodes, right? Like I said, those things are important because they give final damage. Fewer levels below the monster gives you less final damage penalty. More Arcane Power can give you final damage bonus, and getting higher level boost nodes give you final damage bonus to those skills. So that's why those are way more important, and they scale way harder than just like a line of 6% stat on an equip. And you shouldn't be afraid of losing that, because what happens if you get more drop rate? You get more nodes. You get more nodes, you can level up your boost nodes and your skills. And what happens then? You get more final damage. So it returns back into damage.
no, yeah, totally. I think I have like this mentality that uh, when I saw like a 9% uh, main stat, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, super excited, and and I think it's and then you have like sort of like this Diogenes syndrome of like wanting to like keep this,
Yeah. It's hard to
but you
go
don't have like
down. Yeah.
you don't have like enough knowledge of the whole system of like whether you should like reallocate here or reallocate that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think
So the second one after the arcane power would probably be critical rate to make sure that you have 100%, right? So if you have it, it's totally fine. You can move on. But if you don't have it, critical rate is more important, because the one that's most important after that is critical damage. That one's important because basically because of diminishing returns, right? Do you understand that concept?
in terms of diminishing returns, in terms of what in regarding critical
Well,
rate
so
or
well, no, for critical damage. And so damage and critical
Mhm,
damage both are additive, which means that you get diminishing returns. But the base number, and
mhm.
you can see it in your stat window, the base number for critical damage is lower. That means if you add like the same percentage for one as for the other, then it's way harder. But of course, damage then starts adding 3 and critical damage starts adding 1. So then you have to compare them together. But then for damage, what also gets added to damage, which is again the last one that's a little bit more important, is damage to normal monsters. That counts as
Mhm.
damage, but only when you're mobbing. But that one is more important because past level 5, it gives 4% per level instead of just 3 that damage does. So damage and damage to normal monsters, or in case of bossing, damage and boss damage are usually pretty close together, but with a favor towards boss damage and a favor towards damage to normal monsters when it comes to comparing it to damage, just because they give a little bit more.
Oh, so I should when I'm training in the Arcane Reaver, I
Mm-hmm.
should probably get the hyper stats for damage to normal monsters
Mm-hmm.
because I never get them up. Like I don't. I'm still at, the only I think like when I'm training for my Legion, my mechanic for instance,
Mm-hmm.
I get those points because I get so frustrated when I'm like four-shotting the mobs, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Yeah, because they have
and
no you have no symbols yet, right? You don't have the arcane power, you don't have the boost nodes,
mm-hmm.
and don't have the levels, so they have to deal with all of the penalties together, and then you see a huge difference. Even if their gear is going to be exactly the same as your paladin, they would still suffer more, and they would still do less damage.
No, totally, and I think I mean I think at least for me when I create a character and it's not Terra Burn or it's
Mm-hmm.
not like Hyper Burn and you don't get like those benefits, uh, it's impossible for me to make the transition from like early game. I don't know if I'm in mid game necessarily. I think Lomian is mid game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to make that transition from early game to mid game without like all the benefits that you get from the event is like for me it feels almost impossible.
But if your account is still pretty new, I'm guessing your Legion is like around 2.5K or less, right?
No, I think I've played sporadically and then I just like uh have like many characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I took advantage of the passive event that give you a lot of like XP like XP
The
posts.
growth potions, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm right now it's 4K.
4K, okay. Yeah,
Um,
well, I mean, yeah, not to. So this would be like the long progression session, right? If we talked about like your Legion and where to put everything there, but like the general
mhm,
priority of where you want to put your stats, what characters you want to put in your board, and where you want to build everything around your account is arcane power is the most important, right? To make sure when you're bossing or mobbing, as long as it needs arcane power. If it helps, arcane power has three numbers that you want to look at. So 10% more, 30% more, and 50% more than the map. So if you're really close to that, add a little bit of arcane power. That'll give you a lot of value for a little bit of points. If you're not close to that,
mhm.
then you can go to the next thing. Next thing is critical rate, both for mobbing and bossing. You want to get it to 100%. Again, unless you need to go to like level 14 or something to get to 100%, then that's not good. Then you need to
Mhm.
maybe move Legion pieces into critical rate, maybe move more link skills, right, to get more critical rate. And then after that, it's IED is most important, but that's only for bossing, right? Because IED gives you the base final damage to make sure you get less damage reduction when you're hitting bosses. So your IED is a little bit low as well. If it came down to optimizing your damage for bosses, you would want the boss damage to be way lower, probably most at 10, and you want the IED to be higher because your IED is 76%, which means that if you're fighting like Root Abyss, you're getting 24% damage reduction off of that like base.
Yeah,
Although
but I noticed
you
that
you
I
have a
use like
debuff, so you don't. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
but that's 50%, right? So you get about 50% of the 24 that you're missing, which puts you around 88, which is definitely better. But it's still you still want to be a little bit careful because it's still going to get diminishing returns at a higher end because it's 50% of a lower amount. But it's not as dire for you because your visual and your functional right IED is quite different. So, but that's just like the general priority. Then critical damage, right? Because critical damage is kind of like final damage, but is additive instead of multiplicative. But almost never gets to the point of diminishing returns. It's only for super high level archers and katanas and stuff. And then it's
Mhm.
damage to bosses and to normal monsters, right? Like I talked about before. And then damage right after that, because that gives you like all of the stuff. Well, so this one is gone. Nice, boom. And then if you're mobbing, it's bonus EXP to just because then at this point, right, you can kill the monsters, and then you want to get more EXP from the monsters that you kill. It's kind of like this is the drop rate. Oh, like this is the drop rate, and this is the meso obtain, right? Now you have to make sure that everything drops a bag. Now you want to get the bags to be bigger. So now you can kill all the monsters. Now you want the EXP from the monsters to get bigger. That's the only way that you can scale up anymore at that point. And then it's just leftover, a little bit of attack, a little bit of main stat, whatever gives you anything. But that's a general priority in how you do your hyper stats, the priority in how do you, what stats do you look for in link skills, the general priority of, what you build in your Legion. It's all the same priority because that's the priority of damage basically.
No, yeah, I think this is great because it's like it helps you to understand that there are like multiple ways to relocate your damage, and you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
necessarily, and you even if you lose stats
Mm-hmm.
technically, you can still gain more.
Yeah, you can
eventually.
compensate. Yeah, and that's why
Yeah.
you said like where you are in progression, because like stat is one blob, and definitely percentage from accessories and stuff is a big chunk of that. But building on your legion and working on your arcane power, that also gives you a bunch of stat, right? And all of these other things, and getting some better flames and working on your star force, and all of those things also give you stat, and they can compensate for how much you have.
I see. No, no, no. I think this is very useful.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
Um.
You know, that's kind of the
No,
point.
yeah, of course. But um. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this advice.
Mm-hmm. So for
So
tomorrow, I would work on the inner ability. You have 500,000, so I think it's pretty safe to just donkey roll up to legendary, and then try to get
okay.
a meso obtain line, either 18, 19, or 20 or something. Um, they'll
Do
be
they
fine
stack with the does the inner ability meso obtain line stacks
with
with the
equips.
meso with the equips? So
Yep.
it will be like 100. So you can achieve like 100 with the equips and 120 with the inner ability.
Yeah, sometimes people say like 100, and then they mean like fully stacked. Sometimes people say, do you have 120% meso obtained? Then they'll include the inner ability basically. That was
Mm-hmm.
more the question when people were like on Kana farmers though, right? When the whole goal of the character
Okay.
was just to make money. But in general, for most people, 20% meso obtained, or 18 or 19, whatever, is for most characters for a very long time the best in slot inner ability, because in the same way that getting drop in meso gear is the best thing to do with your equips, because it just makes you so much more money that you can get to the final point of doing more boss damage way faster, right? It's just more optimal that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a little bit of meso obtain that you can get from the phantom block in the legion, right? So some people will say like 124 or something, because it's like 1 2 3 4 5%, I think. When I
Yeah,
get
I
a level
have like the
250.
I have the 3%
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
thing,
so you could get to 123 then, or 122, whatever the line of meso obtained will be in the inner ability. Yeah.
Okay, so
So the hyperstats will be carrying harder. The inner ability will help with the money. The drop in the meso gear will help. Set bonuses will keep going. So I wouldn't spend pretty much anything on Star Force.
mhm.
Once the accessories, nodes keep coming, that kind of stuff, right? Arcane power keeps growing. That's really important. And then once you get to the point where you have your 5 meso 4 drop accessories, the next thing to spend money on, I think, would be your shield, to try at least get 18%, but hope for 21% attack on that. That would be pretty nice. And then I would probably, because I think your weapon is a tier 5, if I'm not mistaken, for the
In terms of
flame.
flames,
Yeah.
yeah, it has like 60 attack.
Yeah, I think that's a tier 5. We can double check. 196. Yeah, that's tier 5. So if you get a tier 6, which is still pretty cheap, is 79 attack. That would be 19 extra attack. And, the value for you, it's at least like 3 to 1, almost 4 to 1. So like almost 20 weapon attack, that's like 70 or so stat equivalent, But it'll probably be a matter of just getting slightly better flames on everything, just slowly bringing everything up. But the weapon is the most important piece there, and it's also going to stick with you for quite a while. So it's definitely worth investing a bit more into. But like the top is at 60, so that's pretty good. The cup flame score is also really, really low, so that one can also easily get a lot better. It can very easily get around.
Should I do flames, or should I just like wait for ping drop?
Yeah, you could. Okay, so when you have incoming for something, then I would put it on a lower priority in that sense. So if there are 2 items that are about the same priority to flame, but one of them you can get daily or maybe weekly, can get a piece, then I would put it as a lower priority to flame, and definitely wait until the other one is better. So like, let's say that you have your cup and your CRA is around the same. They're both flame advantage, and they're both level 140 and 150, right? So they're really close in outcome. So your top is 60, and where do you have the other? Oh, here. Your hat is 32 and 5. Okay, so that's a lot better. That's nice. And then the pants is 32 and 6. Okay, yeah. So let's say that you have what else could be close? I guess the Abzo could be kind of close. Or maybe the Will of the Wisps, for example, right? Those are 130, and the cup is 140. Well, these ones are already 40, and the other ones are lower. But the main thing is, what is your flame income? If you're not doing a lot of weekly bosses, you're not getting that many flames, right? You mainly relying on event shops and stuff like that.
Well, I'm doing like the whole. I do up to Akechi in terms of bosses solo, and they don't. I mean, I think the only ones who drop me like two like flames are the CRA like someday, you know. And so I don't get too many flames. Maybe it's because of like I don't have like eat and drop rate, right?
Again, yeah, that'll also. Although, I think in the last post, what they said is that flames are not affected by drop rate anymore, and are instead just affected by how hard the boss is. And we don't know if they're gonna dial that back, because in the past it was because of drop rate, and you could get a lot more if you got better drop rate. Yeah.
I see.
But it still works
like,
for cubes though, so that's still useful.
Yeah, they dropped me the Maester one. Right? But I wonder, in terms of flames, I only rely on the Harmony coin shop. That's the only way that I can get flames, because bosses don't drop me flames usually.
Exactly. Oh, the pendant, the Dominator pendant, right? Is also 140 and flame advantage, like the cup, and that one is basically give you almost nothing, right?
But you're gonna hate me because of this, because this is from the event.
Click the wrong thing.
Yeah, I picked like the apps on the.
Yeah, it's
as
fine.
you say, like, yeah. But I actually got like 2 drops of Dominator pendants.
Okay.
And I think, but people talk about Dominator pendants in relation with the Sweetwater stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily like because I'm starting to realize that Maple is like a long-term project basically.
Yeah, transposing definitely. That only comes into transposing comes in when everything is like 17 stars, 2-line, legendary, and you have like the full superior Gallic set. That's when you want to consider transposing, basically.
No, yeah, and it's I don't think I'm necessarily in that stage.
That stage. Exactly. So if you're like flaming, I would say maybe like this Dominator can get a better flame because you will keep this one for a while, right? The amount of money you would have to spend on a clean Dominator to get to this point is so high that you don't want to spend that for a while, right?
Can you transpose your Dominator event to a Sweetwater one?
Not the event one, no. But you want to, since you're going to be using this one for a while, and it has flame advantage and a high level, you still want to get a better flame on it, because right now it only gives you 68 dex, which is pretty much nothing, right? That's about 7 flame score. But you can easily get a similar flame score to like 50 to 60 strength or something. It's pretty doable. And gaining 50 strength, that's a lot, right? Because if you're going to be losing some percentage stat because you're going to switch the accessories, then you want to compensate that. So if you get flames at this point, I would say the Dominator Pendant and the Cup are like the first things to flame, and get both of them like around the same as where the CRA top is. That would be the goal. And then after that, probably be the weapon and try to hit the tier 6, try to get that 79. But I would mostly do this with event flames. So you can do a bunch of them at once, so you have a lower chance of ending with a lower flame. But these are okay to flame if you get one from a boss somewhere, because you're not ruining anything, even if you get 0, right? It's pretty much staying exactly the same, so that's why it's fine.
Okay, I see.
And then your income will be a lot higher. You're doing more weeklies. You know, you can whenever you train, you make more money. And then when Star Force events come around, then you can go harder on Star Force events because you had more time to get backups. You had more time to get money, and now you can throw the backups and the money together and make upgrades.
Is there like a Star Force? You told us on the stream that there was like a potentially there's a next Star Force event, like 50. Should I go like very ham on this cube sale, or should I save a little bit of money? Because I think the only Star Force thing that I'm going to do is the glove and the shoes for the Absolab stuff, right?
Yeah, but there's more Absolab stuff coming, hopefully, right? The glove and the shoes switch over, and then everything is 17. You want to get your CRA to 17. You might want to get some accessories done up, right? The main thing, basically, the more you spend on the cube sale and try to get everything up to legendary, and then with Master cubes or with red cubes roll to drop in meso, the more pieces you get done, the faster you will be able to start with the Star Forcing and getting stuff to 17. So I would just go completely broke on it.
Okay, so just the 3BL, right?
Yeah, everything. Maybe more by then, right? More Ursus money, more Maple Tour money,
Yeah, I'll
But,
probably have like
yep.
4.5 bill by then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
The more you spend, the faster you'll earn it back.
yeah. I mean, right now my weekly income with the whole boss crystals is like 3 bill, around 3 bill.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Uh, I wonder.
Well, the
I
cube seal
wonder
hasn't
what.
been the Star Force event hasn't been announced yet, so it's multiple weeks
Yeah.
away. So you can make the money back
Okay.
easily. Yeah.
What are the estimates in terms of like if I get the meso gear and the item drop? What are the estimates in terms of like meso obtained weekly with the totem? I'm really
It's a
still
little
like,
hard to say because it comes down to kill speed, of course, right? And then which maps you're in, etc., etc. And then Legion coupons are also very important if you have if you can afford those. Legion wealth coupons
yeah.
when you're training. Have you ever trained with those?
I've never trained with those, but I checked I checked the Legion point like yesterday, and they were like fairly cheap. Um,
Yeah, I think it's 70
and I
for half an hour. Yeah.
yeah, I have enough like coins
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
And then if you have wealth acquisition potions, that's also multiplicative. And then also
Oh,
your
I wanted
invulnerability.
to ask you. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, do you need a I think you need a recipe for that.
Yeah, you need a recipe, and then the recipe is enabled for 24 hours, and then you can craft every 5 minutes, I think, and then you craft 3 at a time if you make it. But you need
Oh, so the
you need
sorry, the
you need
recipe has
yeah,
like.
go for it.
Oh, sorry, the recipe has like a time limit. No, because
Yeah,
sometimes it says like, yeah,
24
I
hours
haven't
when
got.
you after you use it, it's 24 hours. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so okay.
So you
That
want to
makes
hold
sense.
on to
But
the recipe until you have enough materials, and then you want to craft as many
yeah,
as you can within the time window.
would
So you need
do you
juniper
need level
berry
10?
seed oils is what you need.
Okay. Do you need level 10 for that?
Yeah, you want to be I think so. You want to be
Yeah.
level 10, yeah.
Um.
Alchemy.
Wait. So who drops the wealth acquisition?
The recipe is
Recipe.
dropped by almost all the bosses. If you do a lot of Zakum on mules to get levels, and if you do Arc, and if you do Root Abyss, you probably already have a few. As well, maybe you got rid of recipes, right? But if you check through the recipes, you probably have a bunch in your account. And again, the more
Yeah,
drop rate
I
you
think.
have, and the more you will get them. So the main thing
Okay.
is getting the oils, the seed oils, because you need 10 seed oils per craft to make 3 potions, and they're pretty rare.
Okay. Oh, they're like. Okay.
Yeah, you need to
No, I've
make
heard.
those. Yeah, with herbalism, you need to get the seeds. But they can also drop from gold flowers. But yeah, they're pretty rare. But if you do all of that and you put all of it together, I don't know if you kill quickly. So like my Demon Avenger is killing now in level 245 area, and I'm making like a little bit more than 720 mil an hour.
Mhm.
And then some characters make like 800, and then the highest end some people make close to a bill an hour, almost. But even around your level, I think right now you're probably how much are you making now if you train for an hour? Like a little bit over 100?
So I have like no wealth, anything in terms of meso. I
Mm-hmm.
make like I was training in the whole like the Juju Island where there's like this like beast type of
Yeah,
monster
Yum
that
Yum
has,
Yum
like,
Yum Island, right? The other one with the half.
yeah, it has like 4 legs. Sorry if I'm
Yeah,
too like.
yeah.
But
Like the they look like reindeer or something, right?
yeah,
Like a
and he
moose.
was like I just like even if I was like not enough like I'm like over level for that
Mm-hmm.
place. I
It's so
just love to
good.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels great. Like
Yeah,
the
those maps are
sensation.
really good. Same with the Reverse
So I
City,
was
it's really good. Yeah.
yeah, I was making like 300 mil in 2 hours. I
In a
don't know if
totem. Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I would guess, like 120 to 150 mil an
no,
hour
but
without
with totem, with totem.
with totem. Yeah, but in 2 hours. Yeah, so once you have all of this stuff going on, you're basically just gonna double your money.
Okay, but
So
should I? I wonder, do I need like more pets, like for this whole for meso
there's a
farming?
Vec
Or
pet coming next week. You'll get a Vec pet, and Vec pet can just basically do what 5 pets do. You just suck from all over the map, get everything.
what's a back?
It's like vacuum pet. It just
Okay.
it just sucks in everything from very far away. So you just jump around the map, and the pet just takes everything.
Wait, so I read on that event. Should I just like get one character, and then log on another character and get like multiple backpacks, or should I get like one? Because I realized that when you get multiple pets in one character is not useful because they expire at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can.
Uh,
You can transfer them through the cash app, but only if they share cash app inventory. Yeah.
oh wait, so like how? What do you mean like two characters? Is not all like the catch-up inventory is not shared throughout all the accounts?
No, it's not shared through all. No, there are little groups. You can check !CS transfer. I'll put it in the chat. There are 11
Okay.
different groups that some of them share and some of them don't. And only when there's a cash up transfer event can you transfer from one group to another. Otherwise, the pieces only show up in within the groups.
And it's based on class.
Yeah.
I wonder why they made that. I don't.
Yeah, to make more money, dude. Because everyone then
Yeah,
has to buy
bro.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's incentive to
Um,
spend more.
Yeah, and it's such a like a weird way to incentivize. It sounds even like a. It's,
A little bit
it's
scammy.
dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They said somewhere that they want to eventually have like a universal cash up, but obviously it's not a high priority because it doesn't make them any money. So it's something
No.
far down the list of things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like amazed by that. So,
Yeah.
I'm like impressed right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I think now I have like a good idea of what should I do.
Mhm. Yeah, meso inner, accessories, redo shield, a little bit of flames, a little bit of weapon. Mainly just crank out the hours, work on nodes, work on symbols. That's going to be a lot of
in
your
terms
damage.
of-
Redo
yeah,
the hyper stats, build up your legion, and get the right link skills to complement your skills.
okay. So in terms of maps, I was just checking a lot of maps,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that I really enjoy, even if my XP rates are not necessarily the best, I really enjoy like Juju Island, like the one that like the reverse city of Chuchu,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, but I feel so uncomfortable like playing in the Lucid map.
Mm-hmm.
What's the term? What's the name of it? I always it was like
Lakaline?
yeah, Lakaland, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I feel like so uncomfortable, like just going in Lakaland, for example. I mean, there were like some maps like the Gadinas and the Gajus, but like the Red Shoes ones, like the layout feels
Yeah,
for some reason uncomfortable.
they already made them better because they were worse in the past. But yeah, I know what you mean. The tower
Yeah,
maps are very interesting.
oh no, the tower maps are just like when you're doing like
The dailies,
just the
yeah,
the-
or the
not only
pre-quests, you
the
mean?
dailies, but the pre-quest, but also like the monster pack stuff, and you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go
yeah.
there. And,
Yeah, it's not great.
oh
Yeah,
no,
and
no,
that's why
oh
some
my God.
people will stay at areas like lower than their level, just because it makes more sense, and the map layout is just more fun, and then that makes you want to do the 2 hours. You know, it's not worth doing 2 hours and then just hating yourself afterwards, and then not wanting to play for 3 more days. It's better to get a
No,
little bit lower
exactly.
rates, but then be able to keep up the rates. You know,
But
makes
it's
more sense.
also way more easier to like, just like walk in the map because, for instance, in the Red Shoes ones, you have like one top platform, and then you need to walk to that platform, and then you need to. I don't even know how to like do the correct sort of like movement wise.
Yeah, and then the pets get stuck on stuff and can't loot properly,
No,
and yeah.
it's just. But I
So
wonder if there are like maps akin to like the ones in Juju after.
In Lakaline, people like the what are they called? Like the alleyway, like in between, like next to the tower, with the paper and the plastic map mask guys. Those are pretty similar, like three parallel platforms.
Which one is
Bro, I'm so great at clicking on the map. Oh, here you go. So where it says the hideout, right, where you get the map, and I have Outlaw Street 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
Those-
it's basically the first ones, no?
Yeah, the first ones. Yeah, people like those, especially
Oh, yeah.
because you can start pretty early, right? Because you can still get the arcane power bonus there, because of
Yeah.
the lower requirement that they have.
And I one shot them too, so
Exactly, you will kill them faster, yeah, and then you will still get like decent rates, and you can get droplets, that kind of stuff. That's nice, and it's easier to loot as well, especially with the Vacpat. It's going to be easier to loot. You just walk in the middle platform, and the Vacpat just loots everything. Yeah, that's usually the map, I think. And then sometimes people go to Rev 3, Revelation Palace 3. That's another one that people
Okay.
like a lot. And
Okay.
then maybe the Weekend Dreamkeepers, maybe, because it has a lot of monsters, but the map is pretty big, so it's usually mostly good for people with a lot of mobility.
No, yeah,
If
I
they can get
noticed
around the
that.
map faster, yeah. There's a lot of monsters, but they're pretty far apart, so you have to be very fast to be able to use it, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the only way that I can do that is when I have like my spinning hammers, and I'm just like jumping.
Bunny
And
hopping all over the place, yeah.
yeah, but I realized that the only way that I actually do like kill fast with my spinning hammers is with my divine echo combined.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I need to like sort of like time them.
Yeah, the base damage goes up a lot for that.
No, it's insane. I was like,
It's a lot of final damage,
I don't know.
right? Yeah.
No, it's just a lot. It like bubbles your whole everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you have. I was like just thinking about it, like when and the importance of like the ignore enemy defense. I realized the importance of threaten because I wasn't using it at all.
Oh yeah, make sure. Yeah, you
And I
don't
just like use it, and
yeah,
then I use my burst, and then I
kill
just
bosses
like,
so much faster. Yeah,
no, yeah, it's so funny.
because you're going from 24, so you're doing from 70, like on regular route. But like, let's say you're doing C-Vel, right? You're going from getting almost 50% damage reduction to only getting 25% damage reduction. So you're doing 50% more final damage, basically.
It's a lot. Also, I was wondering again, like, in what stage do you think like one can like solo Lomian? You know, because as I said to you, I can do up to like I can finish like stage 1, stage 2, but stage 3 I'm just like out of time. And I really enjoy like doing. It sounds funny. I really enjoy. I want to create a Mihail for the next like event.
Even more
Like
extreme Paladin.
Yeah, and I already have like a Wayne Archer, you know. And I enjoy bossing, but for some reason I just like enjoy being like an asshole in bossing and not like doing anything and just putting like if I'm a Wayne Archer, I just put my crystal.
Yeah, Mihail is for you. Yeah, exactly. Decoy.
And I'm just like, I just enjoy like being like fuck you to the boss. You know what I mean? Like with C-pop, like just like ignoring everything. And okay, I think I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Well, you were talking about like where you can kill things. I mean, it's always going to kind of come down to the combination, right? Paladin's a little bit has support elements, right? So it's probably going to have to be a little bit stronger than some other classes. Like if your friend is a hero, your friend solo will probably be able to do it more easily than you if you're like the same level of funding. But if you do things together, then you know it'll be basically like there's two heroes there because you get a lot of extra damage from your party member doing a lot of extra damage. Plus you can make him immune and then he can have an easier time doing a lot of damage and blow things up. There's like, oh, there's a laser on the ground and we're getting pushed around. Okay, let's just be invulnerable for 30 seconds and just nuke the boss, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just ignore it.
I think I can tank like one laser. And then I use like potion.
And then up jump.
Then I tank. Not even
one
up
more.
Sometimes I don't even up jump. It's
yeah,
like,
you should probably up jump.
I should, yeah, I know, but I.
Well, you might
I
be
do
learning
it,
some
like,
bad habits for when the boss gets harder.
No, of course. I'm starting to realize that because I was doing the CPAP with Paladin, and I realized that I like okay, so sometimes I don't even need to like focus on the FMA because I just guarded 3 attacks, and I'm like, I don't know if I should like necessarily like start like. I mean, maybe I should like have like a more holistic sort of like experience in Maple.
I mean, you don't have to, you know.
No,
but if you do it on another character, you're gonna get like in the beginning when I started doing CRA on the Demon Avenger, I thought Queen was so easy because you just have infinite lifesteal and infinite HP, so she can do nothing to you. But then when I did it on another character, I was like, what the fuck? This boss is so hard.
So you need to like relearn it, basically.
Yeah, well, you need to actually learn. I didn't have to learn anything yet because I was just ignoring the whole mechanics. But now I couldn't do that anymore, so yeah, I had to learn a whole lot of stuff.
No, it happens also in Lotus. In Lotus, I realized that like I can tank like lasers. Like I can tank the laser, like the a spinning laser, like this one hit, you know.
Yep.
And
Yeah, not
I
everyone
use
can
like
do
my
that.
no exactly, and I use my iframe to like to when the spinning goes like really fast, and I don't know, it almost feels like bad, you know what I mean? It's
Like
like
you're cheating. Yeah.
yeah, it feels like I'm cheating, and but I haven't had like the experience with other characters, you know, so I don't know. Damage wise, I feel like very comfortable, especially when I'm
Yeah,
burst.
other people will do more damage, but they need to because they can't just ignore the mechanics. So they need to make the boss fight shorter so they can survive. But you don't need to make it shorter. You can have a longer, drawn-out boss fight because you can survive all the hits. So in general, you might be able to kill it more easily and with lower damage than other people, but the boss fights will take longer.
No, yeah,
Because you're built on party. So then if you have a party and you have the other person and they know what they're doing, then you can compensate and pick up some of the slack of where they might lack, which is a survivability, and they can pick up some of the slack where you might lack, which might be damage. And then you have synergy, and then you have, 2 + 2 = 3, or 1 + 1 = 3. 2 + 2, which should be 4 or higher. Otherwise, it's
but
not
I
a good
mean,
synergy. Yeah.
my friend, he usually is not like consistent in terms of like playing time.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to like
Oh, I have to go to the
add me,
bosses.
if anyone wants to add me to like a struggle run for Lotus, just like
All right, plug in the chat. Wait, are you in chat right now? Type in the chat.
yeah, I'm in chat.
Put your
Yeah,
IGN in the chat.
I interrupt you sometimes because I like there's like a delay with the
Yeah.
Discord stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's my name. So if anyone
Ah,
wants to
there you
like,
go. Tertullian. If anyone wants a duo bosses with a Paladin, a soon-to-be pro Paladin, Damien and Lotus and everything above, I want to boss together because you die to things and you want to be made immune for 30 seconds at a time, so you can do your burst. But yeah,
no,
but
yeah,
we're also a little bit over time already, so you wanted to.
oh, I'm sorry, this
Yeah.
is Scardor.
Well, yeah. There's
But
always infinite things to talk about, so just letting you
no,
know.
I know. It's like it's always goes to like it's like so many roots. It's like a tree.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Well, it all comes
but I
together, but hopefully the foundation, the roots of the tree are hopefully more clear now, right?
yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's um I think this was very useful. I have a clear picture of what I want to do and what
Okay.
should I do, and I'm not I don't feel like afraid of to like
Yeah, making like bad decisions, right?
to
You don't want to waste your money.
yeah, and no, exactly, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you need just to know the security, not be doubting every single thing you do. Because yeah, you can't really have fun if every single thing you do is like, well, I hope this is the right thing. I hope I didn't fuck it up,
no, exactly, and that's like I realized that with like I have my Win Archer. I actually have like the ghost ship patch in that character,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like was like scrolling through my equipments, and then I have like a legendary like Panzer shoe, and like God knows what I was doing with my whole money back then. So, sorry, like there's like a lot of mosquitoes in my house, so there's like a lot
Same,
of
bro.
like my family is doing like a warfare.
A what? A barbecue?
You don't do you hear like screams?
A little bit when you said that.
The thing is, like, we are like suffering from like a mosquito attack. Like, there's
Oh
like
shit.
actually a plague in my house.
Oh, plague? What
And,
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, basically, there's so much, and like, I should actually go and help them right now, and they're just like killing them.
All right.
I
Well,
feel like
enjoy the mosquito massacre. Call it the Great Mosquito Massacre of 2022. Take some pictures.
yeah, sure. But thank you. I think it was like worth it.
Yeah.
Also, like
Was it
in
worth
terms
it?
of time,
Yep.
when you're more knowledgeable, you know how to way more like to
Yeah.
invest time
You can
more
kind of cut
optimally.
through the bullshit a little bit.
Yeah, and I realized like I think in one of my messages, sorry if I'm talking too much, but I realized that I think I need to restructure my life because this summer has been like I have like a beer now. It's just insane.
It's
But
impacting your real life a little bit. Yeah.
No, it's just
You're
like
talking to me. I haven't shaved in like weeks as well. I need to.
no on my sleep schedule and all of that. Like,
Okay, yeah,
I'm
too
feeling
real.
like
Too real. Take it back. Too real.
yeah. But thank you, Scardor.
Yeah,
I'll
you're very welcome. Best of luck, and for any follow-up questions or any more questions you have, I'm always here, so you can always ask in the chat, right?
yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, good luck, and yeah, I hope everything works out. And good luck with the mosquitoes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. All right, so it was just a quick gear help, but you can't really help but only talk about gear. You kind of have to talk about everything, right? It's kind of holistic, but we tried to skip over the other subjects a little bit faster because of the time constraint on a shorter session today. But hopefully this was all informational for you guys out there watching on the YouTubes and the people who were in the chat. And yeah, if you got any help from this, I'm glad. If you didn't, then feel free to join by the stream when I'm live, and then we can talk about it then. If you want one of these private sessions, check the description of the video. And if you are interested in maybe winning one for free because you're very patient or you don't have the money, you can leave a comment with your Discord name saying that you would like to win, and every month I draw 2 winners. I'll be drawing the winners soon for June, which I haven't done yet, but I will be reaching out, so keep an eye on your YouTube comments and on your Discord messages. Other than that, yeah, swing by the stream or check my other videos out for extra help. And I'll thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.